Yeah, so by the way, this is Reverend Francis Adebayo, as you all probably can tell by now. Sir, I just like for you to share the. Some of us are quite multi-dimensional, if I may say. Our expressions are quite multifaceted, and even as leaders, we can find ourselves having to hold our heads high and be effective, uh, even despite the multiplicity of responsibilities or um, you know, I don't know how else to put it. So, sir, how do you handle being a clergy, an effective one at that? You preach in church every Sunday, and being a politician, and being someone that probably is still handling some other projects, being effective as a leader, having to manage the.
And for me, I think it's just very easy. Number one is passion, all right, and number two, passion and of course purpose for which God has called you to do. So if you have a purpose, let me use this scripture. It says that where sin abounds, grace much more abounds. All right. So when you have purpose for something, grace of God will also cover up for you. So I love to say that the grace of God will not take you to the will of God will not take you to where the grace of God will not keep you. The purpose of God will not take you to where His grace will not enable you. So, but having said that, you also have a whole lot to do with yourself to find out exactly how to go about it. And for me, I've been able to streamline everything I do to. It's all about people. So, as a politician, why am I in politics? For the people. And of course, democracy has been described as the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. So, it's people. Comes to the work of God. What is it all about?
People.
It's people. All right. So, when I'm in the political field, I want to change lives. I want to touch humanity. I want to make this place a better place for people. That's why I'm in politics. Why am I on the pulpit? I want to change lives.
Your why.
I want people to live a better life here. I want people to make it to heaven. So it's all about people. So it's just that the expression is being seen on different platforms. But for me, it's the same thing. All right? If I'm in government today, I'm in there for the people. If I'm on the pulpit, I'm there for the people. When I'm reading to study, not reading to study, when I'm reading to preach, when I'm reading to go deliver a presentation, it's for the people to be blessed. So at the end of the day, people will walk away and say, wow, what she said, it changed my life. Everything is just centered around people. All right, so it make my concentration, my focus easier. It's made my balancing easier, which is a lot of things that people struggle with when you're into so many things. There's nothing wrong in being in so many things as long as you can find a connecting dot among all the things that you're doing. And for me, the connecting dot is people. All right, so whether on the pulpit, it's people. Whether on the in political ground, it's people. I've never lost focus of the fact that whatever comes out of my mouth, my behavior has to influence people to live a better life here on earth and to make it to heaven. So it's easy for me to achieve balance without any struggle.
Wow, that's so enlightening, sir. Thank you so very much, sir. So there's one other question I think I'm going to ask you before we begin to bring this to a close. So a lot of people are quite driven. You said you've touched on the concept of purpose and why you do what you do. So you've been able to align everything, and then you have it's like there's a core to all of it. But you would also find out that a lot of people are goals driven and not really purpose driven. And people, sometimes goals can be based on competitiveness. You just want to outdo. It's not rooted in purpose or some people's core calling. So how do you? I'd like for you to, since this is total lifestyle, and we're talking about, you've shed some light about health. How would you, or what advice, or what would you say to people seeking to do more, grow, while how would you, I mean, I'm trying to put like, okay, how do you, I don't want to put words in your mouth, right? For me, I think that being goals driven, that's not rooted in purpose, might stem from many things, right? And I don't want to, I'm not the speaker right now, I don't want to delve into all of that. But I also think that sometimes it might actually come from good intentions of wanting to grow. And then rather than ensuring that all that you're doing is flowing from a place of purpose that would bring you fulfillment, whether in the short or long term, is it might be coming from a place of strife, competitiveness, or it might even be a good desire to grow, but you're not growing, you might not be growing right if you're not rooted, if the intentions are not right, or it's not coming from the right place. So I like for you to relate health with growth and goals getting, right? Because for me, I am a very, I rather take things from the roots, right? Rather than, it might take you a while to see the fruits, but I would rather ensure that the soil is really, really good. So how would you translate that to a healthy life? Because I think it's all encompassing. If you're living purposefully, I think there'll be some level of consciousness that will attribute to the kind of input, the kind of systems you put in place, and all of that would help you ensure that would kind of translate into growth for you eventually across board. So what would you say to that? What would you say to people to ensure that you're not just burning yourself up achieving goals that's not rooted in purpose or your core calling? How do you ensure that you are purpose driven and not just goals getting?
Well, I don't see anything wrong in being even goal driven, right? Even if it's for a selfish purpose, right? Because along the line, you stand a better chance of finding your purpose than someone that's not doing anything at all, right? Like Paul said, I don't care whether Christ is being preached, how to thrive. I'm using that as an analogy or not. He said the most important thing is that Christ is being preached. If you preach it out of jealousy or out of me too, I want to preach, or out of envy, me too, I want to be like Paul. Are you preaching Christ? That's what Paul meant. So using that as an example or a basis, I will say that if you have a goal to become a millionaire, as long as you're not killing anybody, you understand? Your goal is, look, I just want to be rich. I just want to have money. Listen, along the line, a lot of the time you find your purpose. Because when you have the money, you just discover that you're empty. Now you have the money, so what? Right, then you discover
what next?
Money is not really what I want. Then you will now begin to search for your purpose. Right, so if people start that way, it's fine. Right, the most important thing is, please do not just be on one spot. Do you understand? Sometimes, even if people say in Christianity, yes, we want the right motive for whatever we do, but secularly, who cares about your motive, really? So if you want to become a billionaire and your motive is, I just want to become a billionaire, not to touch other people's life, right? I want to have money because I want to bless people's life. Some other person says, I just want to have money to show them in my community that I can make it. That's a wrong motive, right? But this guy is going to create, while he's trying to make money, he's going to create jobs. As long as it's not anything illegal, right? He's going to create jobs while he's trying to make the money. He's going to after making that money, or in the process of making that money, somehow he will veer into what destiny wants him to do, and he will discover that having money is not enough. You know, like they say, a lot of people are so poor, all they have is money. You know? So at the end of the day, you discover I have money, but I'm still poor. Why? Because he looks around. I'm not really doing what I'm supposed to do. You know, am I touching my community and all of that? So at the end of the day, you find this level. You know, but by all means, people should just thrive to achieve something. thrive to not leave the environment the way they made it, and to not leave themselves the way
they made it.
It doesn't pay anybody if everybody is poor. You understand what I'm saying? So.
Wow. Now, speaking on thriving, and I think that'll be all for now. Speaking on thriving, I know you are. I mean, you've interacted with the government before. You function in your current capacities. What would you say? What's the correlation? What do you think is the correlation between growth and an enabling environment, thriving and an enabling environment? Do you think is totally dependent on the environment? Do you think the actors or the people themselves have a thing to do to ensuring that they thrive? What would you say is responsible
Everything
for thriving?
Is enabling environment.
Wow. So thriving
Even
is typically
Jesus
an
could not
environment.
function in an environment that was not enabled. He went to a place, he couldn't even pray for the sick because the environment there was faithless. Unbelief. Is he not Jesus? Who does he think he is? So he couldn't even lay hands on the sick. He wanted to raise the dead. Jairus' daughter was dead. He had to chase everybody out. And then left with Peter, James, and John to create what? Enabling environment. Right? Everything is about environment, really. Everything is about environment. So that's why you find people here, they travel abroad and suddenly they are thriving.
I wonder if it's the same people,
The same person,
same skill set,
the same mind, the same everything. Suddenly this person is just thriving. Why? Because he found himself in an environment where he doesn't have to pray for NEPA to come. He doesn't have to pray for electricity to come. He can say, okay, I'm going to read at 2 a.m. And when he wakes up, there's power. He reads at 2 a.m. All right? He doesn't have to struggle with that. So everything is about environment. But really, if you find yourself in an environment that is not enabling you, you can then look for how to create your own enabling environment within an environment that is toxic. Do you understand? So that's now another dimension. That's why in psychology there is this argument that's been on for, and I think it's going to be on forever, where the people feel which one is more important or which one contributes most to growth. Is it nurture or nature? Nurture is the environment you find yourself. Nature is your DNA, who gave birth to you, and there's argument on both sides of the divide. But despite that, there's still that conclusion that the nurture, while nature plays a very critical factor in your growth, you cannot throw away nurture as well. So if you take a lion to a place born with the DNA of a lion to roar, and then you take him to an environment of sheep, what's going to happen? At the end of the day, he loses his strength. He forgets that he's the king of the jungle. Yet he's the lion, yet he had his DNA. So you can't take away environment, you can't take it away. No matter how talented you are, no matter how gifted you are, no matter how powerful you are, no matter the dream that you have, you're enabling your environment, either created by the government, created by your family, created by yourself, will always determine the height that you will go.
Wow.
And that's why it's important that we always check our environment. Always important to check our environment. Your environment includes the things you listen to. Your environment includes the kind of friends that you keep. Your environment includes what influences you the most. Those are your environment. So environment is not just about your physical community. In fact, now that we live in the world of internet, that we live in the world of borderlessness, environment has even gone beyond your physical place, because as it is now, your neighbor is not your next door person. Your neighbor is the person on your Instagram. I mean,
Talk
the person on your
actually.
WhatsApp might even be closer to you
Closer than the person in your
than the
house.
person living in the same room if you're in the same building with you.
Right.
You might not talk to the person on the building with you, yet you're talking to someone in India on a constant basis. You know what he's eating, you know what is going on. That's your neighbor. Right now, I mean, the person that you see, you check his post on a regular basis, sees your post, you see his post, is your
It's
neighbor.
influencing you even more.
Even more, you know, that person becomes your neighbor right now, you know. So we just need to check those environments. There's some sites I will never go to check what's going on. There's some news I don't want to listen to. There's some, you know, it just doesn't, because I'm creating an environment for myself when I do those things. Of course, that's apart from the environment that the government has created for us on a general basis. You can still create your own environment, you know, and you know, so that's it.
Wow. Thank you so much, sir.
You're welcome.
It's been a privilege having this conversation with you at this time. I believe that we have learned, everyone listening, everyone doing this, you've gained a whole lot from this. I personally have. And thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
All right, that'll be all for now. Hopefully, we get to have you on Gratitude Live
Anytime.
before the end of the quarter. Bye for now. Thank you very much, sir.
Bye-bye.